A federal judge has done what studios, publicists, and even billion-dollar lawyers could not: plant an unavoidable clock in front of Shawn "Jay-Z" Carter. By July 18, 2025, the rap mogul must finally break his silence on a paternity suit that has shadowed him for 15 years. If he says nothing, the court can treat that silence as admission and move straight to subpoenas, discovery, and an enforced DNA swab. The order has yanked the story out of rumor blogs and parked it in the center of the legal record, forcing hip-hop's most guarded icon to answer a single question. Are you Ramir Satterthwaite's father, or are you not? That hard deadline isn't just a calendar note. It's a fuse sizzling toward a stack of allegations that reach far beyond child support math. Claims of underage sex, interstate transport, courtroom fraud, and years of intimidation. Tonight, we follow that fuse from its first spark in 1992 right up to the fireworks that could detonate on July 18th. The newest filing arrived as an ex parte plea from Rymir's side, asking for breathing room to organize stacks of new evidence. The judge granted the extension, yet simultaneously nailed down a hard stop. Jay-Z must respond by July 18th or face sanctions. Carter's lawyers complain they only learned of the lawsuit on June 3rd and will be irreparably prejudiced without more time. But the judge left the date untouched, a quiet signal that patience for procedural stalling has worn thin. Slip past that deadline and the court can issue a default judgment compelling DNA testing, financial disclosures, and sworn testimony. Put plainly, the leash that once let this case wander in sealed dockets is gone. Every motion from here on out will unfold in open court, with the public watching and rival rappers live tweeting the blow-by-blow. Ramir Satterthwaite is no paparazzi-chasing opportunist. Now, 31, he grew up in Philadelphia, bounced through foster homes after his mother Wanda died, and still pulls night shifts to pay basic bills while producing indie music no label will touch. His life pivoted when a childhood DNA test proved the man on his birth certificate, Wanda's then-boyfriend Robert Graves, wasn't his dad. Wanda had always said she'd only been with two men, Robert and a rising Brooklyn hustler named Shawn Carter. When Robert was ruled out, Rymir did the math the courts refused to finish. He says his mother told him at age 8 who Jay-Z was. He spent the next 2 decades writing letters, filing motions, and scraping legal fees, all while watching the Carter empire soar past $3 billion. This isn't about a payout, Rymir insists. There's no retroactive child support once you turn 18. I just want my identity, he told reporters after the July 8th hearing. Either I'm lying, and Hove can prove it in a week, or I'm telling the truth, and everybody finally has to admit it. Rymir's origin story isn't merely an awkward family secret, it may involve felonies. Wanda was 16 when she says Jay-Z picked her up in Philadelphia and drove her to his aunt's Brooklyn apartment in the spring of 1992. He was 22. Federal law treats the combination of underage sex and crossing state lines as potential trafficking, a charge with no statute of limitation shield if physical evidence, like a DNA match, emerges. That single night could expose Jay-Z not just to paternity liability, but to criminal accusation, a fact his legal team ignores in public, yet fights furiously to keep out of discovery. One frightening irony: the shortest route to clearing his name, a cheek swab DNA test, is also the one step that could hand prosecutors fresh ammunition. For 15 years, the strategy has been simple: keep the test off the table at any cost. Rymir's motions have pinballed through municipal, state, appellate, and even Supreme Court corridors. Each time a submission neared an evidentiary hearing, a fresh technicality appeared: wrong venue, expired statute, lack of jurisdiction. In 2011, a New Jersey judge tossed the case after Jay-Z's lawyers swore he owned no property in that state. Fast forward to 2025, and Rymir has unearthed the line in Tina Knowles' memoir matriarch, placing Jay-Z at a New Jersey condo during that exact window. Proof, he says, of deliberate perjury. The latest federal complaint accuses Carter of systematic manipulation of the legal system, bribery, and fraudulent liens slapped on Rymir's family home. Jay-Z calls the allegations a decades-long harassment campaign and says prior courts have already dismissed them, but the new judge clearly isn't rubber-stamping those past opinions. Leave it to the troll king of Queens to make a legal memo go viral. Moments after the July extension hit the docket, 50 Cent blasted a side-by-side photo of Jay-Z and Rymir. But we're all thinking the same thing. That's his nose. And racked up 2 million views in a mooning. Within hours, Nicki Minaj reposted the filing, sprinkled a cryptic "To God be the glory," and then detonated her own thread accusing Roc Nation of sabotaging her career, shadow banning her socials, and even swatting her home. Nicki linked those claims to a bombshell interview with Demery Hadley, the estranged daughter of Roc Nation's CEO Desiree Perez, who says the label abused Minaj's freedom of speech and weaponized industry friends against her family. In the space of one weekend, a dry civil action morphed into a trending topic dogpile featuring two of hip-hop's loudest megaphones. Whatever Carter files on July 18th will land before a jury pool primed by rivals, TikTok commentators, and millions of skeptical fans. The Carter camp insists Beyoncé has zero involvement, yet Rymir's godmother, Dr. Lily Coley, recounts a chilling phone call. "Tell that boy to go away." Around the same time, she says, two unknown men tried to access her backyard one night. No direct evidence ties those visitors to Parkwood Entertainment, but the optics are ugly. Rymir's receipts add fuel. Tina Knowles. Book places Jay-Z at a New Jersey address his lawyers told earlier courts never existed. A contradiction that, if proven, reopens the jurisdiction argument and revives the case Wanda filed for child support in the wrong state back in the 90s. Carter's attorneys dismiss the memoir as irrelevant hearsay, but the judge has already signaled willingness to let discovery probe the contradiction. When intimidation is alleged, evidence either shocks or backfires. Rymir has supplied photos of a gray sedan pocked with bullet holes, claiming it was sprayed in a drive-by 2 weeks after he filed his 2024 appeal. Local police reports confirm shots were fired, though no suspect was named. An N-Stars compilation catalogs further claims. Followed phones, anonymous threats, liens on property. Drawing a pattern his legal team calls violent suppression. Carter's camp calls the story fantasy. Meanwhile, Demore Hadley's lawsuit against her mother echoes the same playbook. Institutionalization, smear campaigns, weaponized lawyers. When Nicki Minaj connects those dots publicly, she isn't just trolling. She's establishing a narrative that Roc Nation silences critics through fear. Precisely the climate Rymir says he's lived since grade school. Satterthwaite swears this is not about royalties or private school tuition. He's far too old for either. In sworn affidavits, he points instead to illegal liens that sucked equity out of his grandmother's house and to a lifetime of identity trauma. His prayer for relief lists 1. A court-supervised DNA test, 2. Vacating prior judgments obtained through fraud, and 3. Public acknowledgement of any perjury committed to block those goals. "Write me out of the will." He told reporters, "Just stop lying about who my father is." Supporters see a David slinging one stone too many for Goliath's comfort. Skeptics see a clout chaser boosted by 50 Cent's meme wars. The only impartial referee, science, remains locked behind Carter's refusal to swab. Scenarios when the clock hits 0. 1. Carter complies. He files on time. The judge orders a DNA test. Results clear him. Case dismissed. Downside: if the test matches, criminal statutes about underage interstate travel roar back to life. 2. Carter misses or ducks. A default judgment could force testing anyway and tack on monetary sanctions for delay. The optics of ignoring a paternity claim while chiding others for misconduct could stain every Carter brand deal. 3. Motion to dismiss. Jay-Z could persuade the court to toss the suit on jurisdiction or res judicata grounds. The judge's earlier posture suggests an uphill climb, but not impossible. 4. quiet settlement. NDA, sealed lab results, mutual releases. Yet with 50 Cent, Nicki, and the entire internet archiving every docket update, secrecy may be impossible. Every path funnels back to one question the judge cannot ignore. Does the Constitution give a billionaire a special exemption from a cotton swab? The answer, for the first time, will arrive in court filings everyone can read. For years, Jay-Z's silence let tabloids write their own verses. Now the chorus is coming from a courtroom loudspeaker. The clock he once controlled is winding down in someone else's hands, and the cost of missing that final beat could be more than money. It could rewrite his legacy, row Beyoncé's meticulously curated empire, and hand hip-hop's loudest provocateurs the victory lap they crave. So mark July 18th, 2025 on your calendar. Either Jay-Z finally faces the music, swab in hand, or he engineers another remix of Delay. Whichever track he chooses, one truth remains. A DNA strand is shorter than a bar of rap, but it can flatten an empire. Hit that subscribe button, drop your prediction below, and keep your notifications on, because the next filing could change hip-hop history overnight.